Hey Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel, brought to you by Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts. I feel like I've been waiting for this forever, like not just like this as in Super 7's G.I. Joe Ultimates forever, but also this specific figure, which was the Comic-Con exclusive comic book deco G.I. Joe Ultimate B.A.T, Battle Android Trooper. The original, well, at first I thought that these were actually on sale in stock because of all the pictures that Super 7 posted of these figures on sale and in stock. It turned out to not be the case. I don't know what the delay was, but there was a pre-order that was going to ship in mid-August. Mid-August came and went, and nothing shipped. And, I knew eventually it would get here, but it certainly did take a little bit longer than I expected it to. But it's okay, because now it's post-Dragon Con. I need exciting things to review, and here we are with something exciting to review. Man, this box is something a little bit different from the Ultimates we normally see. It's funny because I'm looking up here, and there's very clearly, like, this is actually damage. Here and here. And then on the front, I'm actually trying to figure out, is this damage or is this deco? Because this doesn't, well, even this comes down. Maybe it's not damage, because look, it's all over. Whatever it is, it looks cool. Like, whether it's intentional or not, and I'm really just looking at what look like these points of wear. Like this, I think is pretty clearly, pretty clearly part of the packaging design. But then these that look more scratchy, I really can't tell. But I mean, the thing was in a bag, so I don't see how it could have been damaged. But it's all eye-catching. It all looks cool. The metallic blue camo is awesome. And of course, the Cobra logo on the front, nice and embossed, with that metallic red. This is great. This product is beautiful. This almost feels like a bit of an upgrade from the normal Ultimates, which is crazy to say because the Ultimates are already an incredible line of action figures. So, we've got a cool dog tag looking plate here, also embossed at the bottom. Cobra B.A.T, Battle Android Trooper. Seeing that G.I. Joe logo on a Super 7 product always makes me feel good, because I love the idea that Hasbro knows there are more venues for G.I. Joe than they care to handle or are able to handle, or whatever the case may be. So here we go. Let's open this thing up. It's been long enough. Oh, man, those colors look so good. And you know what? I said cartoon accurate. That is not correct. This is comic book accurate. And actually, I just recently read the issue where the bat appears in the comic. Let's take a look. Awkward transitions can really just make a video, can't they? I thought I was going to have to do a little more than I had to for that picture. But anyway, you can see this nice sort of subdued blue. It's not quite as powder blue as this looked in images online, and I like it even a bit more. Honestly, all of the colors, the yellow doesn't seem quite as bright either. Very striking combination of colors, great looking figure, and of course it's extremely exciting to have the first G.I. Joe Ultimate in hand. Great looking Joe logo on the top there. Again, this wear is continued on the inner box. And then on the back, oh, look at this. We've got a file card. Let me do my best to get my big fat head out of the way, and we'll take a look at this. If I can get an angle where there's not enough glare. All right, let's see. That print is so tiny. I can't get my head out of the picture. I'm not going to read all that anyway. But anyway, you can see very detailed file card. Great images on the back. Kind of a Joe-style, pit-style computer. Images of the bat. Now this is, okay, so wait a minute. What are these images from? Because this looks like Sunbow animation, but this is a comic bat. But in Sunbow, the bats have the red visors, don't they? Well, and look, these have different arms. This is very interesting. Because this, oh, okay, I know exactly what it is. The Sunbow bat is in the regular line. And they've just used the same images for the packaging. They didn't change this to be images of the Marvel Comics version of the bat. I don't know why that was such a mystery to me. All right, let's move on and take a look at the actual toy. Usually there's a little transparent adhesive right here to keep the box closed. Not there this time. Doesn't matter because this is something you either bought from the Super 7 store or ordered online. So I'm not going to worry about it. Tons of accessories, as is the trademark of the Super 7 series. Got the great burst in the back of the packaging. Absolutely love it. Oh, no tape on this part either. We usually have to cut through some adhesive holding these together. Let's see. Now, I have heard about the fragility of this backpack. Well, and this backpack as well, I suppose. So I'm going to have to be very, very careful with these tabs here, I think. Let's see. As much as I love Super 7's packaging, I will not be sad if they someday make these trays go away. But I will say this, you know, as a clearly, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. As items that are clearly intended for adult collectors, and where they put so much effort into their packaging, I could see Super 7 kind of never going with the plastic-free packaging, because that's just not their business model. They're not a mass market company. Well, I guess they are with all the Joe reaction figures. Got a couple of additional hands here. I like that they're just sort of graspy hands. Very nice. I'm going to try and push this out. There we go. And get it past the tabs. I don't want to put any more stress on these than I absolutely have to. And they are relatively rigid, too. These are not like softer plastic. So I'm going to be very careful putting this on the figure as well. All right. And the figure itself, you know what? I don't think this guy usually... Oh, I like some of the things that they've eliminated. He does not have the usual wire holding his torso in place. So I like that quite a bit. And you know, one of the big issues, obviously, with these plastic trays that I've mentioned many times in reviews, is those plastic trays will warp your figures and your accessories. And it's very frustrating to have that happen. But Super 7 does pack everything in neutral poses and positions. And seem to be, well, they pack everything in neutral poses. Because one of the problems is when you try and do like an action pose, the leg gets all warped out and looks bad. You see it all the time, or you used to see it all the time with Marvel Legends. Well, you still do, even in a neutral pose. But also with Super 7, their accessories are made of much sturdier plastic than what you see from the big companies. So the chance of warping, as long as it's not some extremely thin piece, is much lower. And there we go. Freed from the plastic. Oh man, this is gorgeous. Oh, I absolutely love this. Sculpt is beautiful. Okay, so one of the things, let's get our accessories out of the way so we can focus on the figure here. And actually, before I get any further, we'll do some sizing on this fellow. So he is almost 8 inches tall, somewhat large for an Ultimate, but he is. I'm going to give him 7 3/4. He is a battle android trooper, not just a standard human being. Next to Lion-O from the Thundercats, he is much larger. Whoa! Wow, this bat is gigantic. Isn't that interesting? Next to King Diamond, who is, standard size human figure, the bat is even larger. Man, this is very interesting. It almost looks like the Joe Ultimates are going to be larger than the rest of the Ultimates. And then, of course, next to our 00 Snake Eyes that we use as kind of the standard for larger scale Joes, this bat is massive. Oh, wow. So this answers your question, I think. Unless they have just decided that the bats are huge, it appears to me that the Joe Ultimates are, for some odd reason, going to just be larger figures than the rest of the Ultimates. Weird. All right, so now that we've got size out of the way, as far as the detailing, you can see this default head, which, look at the degree of articulation on that. We've got two. Well, we'll take a look at that in a minute. The actual barbell in there. The silver in the vents right there looks great. The sculpt is nice and sharp. And I like the metallic look of that silver on the faceplate. And this thing is fun to move around. What a range they've given this one. So we've got this silver piece around the collar here. Nice bit of detail. And then on the top we've got the epaulets that will connect to the backpacks. Little strap over here with the lemon style grenades. Great looking Cobra logo on the shoulder. On the back, we've got another strap coming up here. Lots of great detail on this guy. And then this arm, which this is from, I believe, the elbow down. This is entirely different from what the standard bat is going to have, because in the comics, they had all of this detail very similar to the original Bat figures. But in the Sunbow cartoon, they had, well, you can see it on the back of the box. Hang on, let me get this back over here so we can take a look. You can see the cartoon versions were simplified. And that is what the cartoon figures are going to look like. So they actually did tooling differences for this figure, and not just the color differences. All the articulation is moving really nicely. He's got a nice deep, for a single joint to the elbow, he's got a pretty nice deep bend right there. You can see the removable forearm, so we can switch out all the different weapons. The closed fists here have a hinge. Great looking bicep cut too. Like, it works into the sculpt really nicely, in my opinion. And then, of course, one of the main features of the Bat is the circuitry in the chest. It's actually got a clear panel, a translucent panel on top, and then this interesting hole right here that makes me wonder if there's perhaps expansion in the future. This clear piece is not going anywhere, it doesn't seem. Although, if you'll notice, oh, you guys, this is new. He has a ball joint at the waist rather than the standard Super 7 cut joint. Oh, because he couldn't have had the ab crunch because of this. Oh, man, I like that a lot. Look, Super 7, I know you all watch my videos, of course. Everybody at Super 7, Brian, you know, all you folks, do this, please. get rid of that cut, give them ball jointed waists, and that is as much range as I need from this kind of figure, because this looks so much better. Whoa. Lion-O's isn't so bad because it's worked into how his costume is, so it's not as visibly apparent. And really, even King Diamond's, that crunch isn't quite as bad, but honestly, with both of them, I'd rather have that ball joint at the waist than have that cut. Wow, I like that a lot. Okay, so the belt, look at the detail on this belt buckle. Looks absolutely fantastic. He's got the holster here with the tiny, tiny little peg that closes it, or closes the strap on it. It's got whatever this gizmo is here on the side. If you know specifically what that is, please feel free to leave a comment. I don't know, because I've never really cared all that much. It's just a neat piece of kibble to give the figure a little more personality. Now, I am definitely concerned about this, because you can see that connection point there. I wish, okay, let's see. I'm going to give it a very, very gentle tug. The gentlest of tugs. I'm not pulling any harder on that. I wish that this was pegged into the belt so that it could swivel. I mean, it looks like we're okay, but if I do that 1,000 times, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? I'm afraid that's just going to either shear off right here or just pull away from the belt. I don't know. All right. Knee joints. A really nice deep knee bend, again, for a single jointed knee. And look at this. The pouch on the side of the boot is actually a little bit different color from the rest of the boot. The sculpt on the boot tops looks great. You've got a swivel right there. Ankles are modern, modern type ankles. Work really nicely. This is a beautiful, sturdy feeling figure too. Like, the plastic feels really good in my hand. And this is the constant conversation with Super 7's Ultimates is, well, they need to be better articulated, versus my personal opinion that no, they do not, because the aesthetics are so wonderful on them. I do not want the extra articulation to take away from the smoothness of the lines in, pretty much any position you can get them in. I mean, look at this. Pretty much everything is articulated, and there are very few things that break my perception of this as a humanoid character. This looks absolutely fantastic. This might be the best Super 7 Ultimate thus far. And also, one of the things I was concerned about, his head is a little loose. One of the things I was concerned about, because in some of the images it did not look great, and even here, like in the video, these joints here, kind of just in images, jump out at you amidst everything else that does look so smooth and worked into the profile of the figure. But in person, it's fine. That it looks great. It is still an action figure. So, my gosh, this is fantastic. I kind of wish I had, well, I will have more bats. They just won't be this color. This is gorgeous, you guys. I'm blown away by this figure. All right, let's take a look at these accessories. So, I guess backpacks first, because if there's going to be heartbreak, it's probably going to begin here. So rather than having a peg in the back, because then you have a hole in the back when the backpack is not on, it fits in theory, fits into these slots. Right? Shouldn't that be happening right now? Okay, there we go. Oof, that's scary, you guys, because it doesn't quite line up, so you're going to have to put some stress on this. Ooh. Oh, I don't love that. These are not quite far enough apart. And they're glued on. So this one should be glued on just a bit further over. And they are, well, they're pegged in. So my guess is that these are not spaced quite correctly. That is a shame. Let's see about this canister backpack here, which, by the way, opens to reveal the landmines. Oh, and those are... No, they... There we go. They do pop out of there. You've got a peg and a little hole in the... these were actually vines. Creeper vines that attacked the Joes on the highway. And they're very, very sharp. Be careful with these kids. These will stab a hole in you. I'm not kidding. So yeah, the canister opens up. You've got the creeper vine seeds or spores or whatever in there. Tons of sculpted detail inside that canister. And these are, let's get a little closer look at this, because I don't think I showed you guys quite well enough. Really nice, weird, unhealthy purple color. Alright, let's peg that back into place. Button that back up, and there's no, like, catch or anything. This just closes. So let's see if this is spaced any better than the backpack is, because chances are I'll be displaying this on this figure since it is unique to this figure. Alright, seems about the same. So maybe that's just part of holding the backpack on. I don't know. I'm not wild about it. I don't mind the fact that it pegs in like this. I think that's actually a preferable feature to having the big hole in the back. But I'm not sure that the way they've gone about it is the best. Because look, this will not sit flush. Look, it's barely even noticeable, but I feel like this should sit flush there. But it is secure. It does stay in place. And the figure, this is a relatively light piece, so the figure can stand up with it on with no problems. It's on there pretty nicely. Let me just carefully look. I'm not going to pick on Super 7, so I'm just going to say, with any collector toy, always be very careful with pieces like that. Don't just think you can go snatching things off and on. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to, but collector toys are a different breed. And we should handle them with a little more care. I mean, look, if you want to spend $55 on something and then throw it around, that's your business. But that's not how I roll. All right, so we have a battle-damaged head with kind of a, I think it's supposed to be almost like sort of a golden electrical glow painted into the crack there. Oh, and you've got a little, some gunshots up here as well. I like it. A little dent on the side. Do a little comparison there. You can see the damage versus the undamaged head. Oh, that's beautiful. That's really nice. And again, with this one, I'm probably going to display that damaged head. That is a long barbell, but it's not crazy thin. Oh, and that just goes right on. Look at that. Okay, nice. And this one is on a little more snugly. You know what? I think, let me take a look at something. Oh, no. So never mind. We're just going to put that right back on. Because I'm going to have pliers to get that out now. All right. we will continue on. I think perhaps the first head was not pushed on completely tightly, because this one is much more secure than that one was. Okay, so let's take a look at the accessories. Oh, now wait a minute. Because I believe this goes in the chest. Oh my gosh. You guys. Holy cow. So this strap here, I kind of pointed out before, it moves. Move this strap over, and there is a little wow. Because as soon as I saw this little electrical effect, I remembered seeing it in the chest of the Bat. So that plugs right in there. Look at that. That is absolutely fantastic. Man, the subtlety of that, and how certain I was that that chest piece wasn't going to go anywhere, because it just look at that, and it just stays in place. Oh man, beautiful. All right, so there's that electrical effect. I pointed out the grasping hands here. And then we've got trigger finger hands. Oh, okay, we've got... Interesting, what? So these trigger finger hands do not have hinges at all. Oh wait, but this one does. This one has an up and down hinge. So surely this one does too. Am I just... There it is. Okay, okay. Gosh, look at that. Those hinges are so slight and yet still functional. So those are up and down hinges, and then these are left to right hinges. Nope, these are also up and down. Okay, we might be at another point where I'm missing something. Because these also, you can see, are up and down. So this might be an error where they gave me two sets of up and down hinges rather than up and down and left and right. But I'm not that worried about it, because honestly, with guns, I would rather have the up and down hinge anyway. So we've got the traditional Bat attachments. We have the claw, which looks great and was always my favorite. Which way do you display yours? With the blade up or the blade down? I go with blade down, because to me, he's going to attack downward with that. But also you could flip it over and he could just go for some straight disemboweling. So really it's just personal taste. Or maybe sideways, a little cut in half action. It's up to you. It's very versatile. And then I can't ever remember... Okay, wait, no, I can remember now. This is the flamethrower. Which, by the way, it would have been nice to have a flame effect with this. But, you know, it's okay. So the flamethrower, and then the laser, all beautifully detailed, look great. The sculpts are fantastic on these. They're solid. They're not made of rubber. They are a rigid plastic. And then we have a Cobra laser pistol in a different... I love this. Okay, so all of the Bat's silver metallic parts have sort of a bluish hue to them. And then the actual weapons, if you see, have more of a silver to them. I like that they went with different colors for these, because now it makes... These are part of the Bat. These are something that was issued to the Bat. Now this one is a little... Is it a little wonky? Maybe it's not. No, yeah, that's right. So we've got a little submachine gun here. Again, great sculpt. Just the one color, because this, this is from the comics. We're not getting a ton of color detail on this. As a matter of fact, you could almost look at the bat and say that you could say there's too much color on this guy. Now, I wouldn't say that, but if you've read the Marvel comics recently, you know there was a lot of simplification. He's beautiful. Let's see how these accessories interact with the bat. Oh, and the other thing to note is both forearms are removable, so you can do the 25th anniversary style, and they get weapons on both sides, because why not do it that way? Love it. Fantastic. And they're in there securely. They fit snugly. So let's give this guy some guns now, which just seems unnecessary, doesn't it? Like, does this armed murder pun intended, armed murder machine really need firearms on top of all of its built-in components? And the answer, of course, is yes, it does. Can dual wield because it is. Oh, those fit perfectly. Finger goes through the trigger guard, holds them securely. Very nice. Looks fantastic. Gosh, it's going to be such a challenge to figure out how to display this guy on the shelf. Absolutely beautiful. All the accessories are fantastic. Is that everything? I think that's everything. There's not much more to cover here. The new San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Marvel Comics color Ultimate Battle Android Trooper. This figure is phenomenal, except for his loose head and his little concern about the backpack attachment here. But otherwise, this is a phenomenal action figure. I can't recommend this highly enough, and once the regular version starts to come out, if you can still pre-order it now on Big Bad Toy Store, I recommend you do so. If you're a toy fan, if you're a G.I. Joe fan, whatever the case may be, you're just going to want to have this figure. It's gorgeous. Thanks for watching, you guys. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. Check out Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast, and always be coming back to Needless Things for your toy reviews. And I'm about to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I'm really, really appreciative of that. And once I do hit 1,000, I'm working on something special. So we'll see what happens there. Thanks for watching, you guys.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.